this morning here in sunny California, date 12/8/2011, the day after the anniversary of Pearl Harbor being attacked. I did 2 videos yesterday that may have left some of you with some questions. Of course, in the whole videos that I've done, no one really has called to help me. No one cares. They give me their video to see. They want to be friends. Friends is going to change things. I need money. That's the bottom line. My life has been totally destroyed. I'm serious when I tell you that. And you don't care. You want to push your video. You want to make your own money. But that's not what this is about. In Shepherds We Trust left me a message. He says, oh, he agrees with me. But are you telling your friends about me? Are you telling your friends that I'm giving you no charge the freedom and the secrets of the universe and what's really going on? Now, yesterday in those 2 videos, I explained to you very carefully that you have a living entity in water throughout the whole universe. Now, I can go on, and I proved it to you. I gave you places to go where you can verify what I've told you, what I've pieced together. But I'm not getting millions of views. You know why? Because there's too many people on YouTube. There's too many YouTubes to see. And who cares? It's just entertainment. But what if one person came to you on YouTube and said, I am the one. I am the one you should be listening to get your real life in order. In Shepherds We Trust posts a speech that I saw myself many years ago. It's a black and white speech of the greatest speech ever made of Charles Chaplin talking his wonderful everybody should love everybody speech. But it isn't enough. He did that way back then. And these wars and deaths and destructions, you know, there are scholars and doctors and psychologists who give you all kinds of explanations why wars happen, why people kill each other. But I have the correct explanation. And there is what I call not 100% proof, but circumstantial evidentiary proof. Hard circumstantial evidence. That's what we'll call it. Now I'm going to back up and give you some pointers. 1, I talked about water being a living entity. Now, we can assume that from listening to if you really check Dr. Emoto's website, the 99th Monkey Philosophy, Jacques Cousteau's, I didn't mention this on the other 2 videos, experiment with 2 saltwater tanks, 1 artificial, 1 real, and the results of what happened after that. There are amazing evidences, or the clam experiments, that you people are just totally missing. You're not putting the pieces of puzzle together. If it sounds, and those of you who criticize me, and there have been a few, you need meds and blah 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 and shut up. One 23-year-old said that crap. Listen, there's a reason why I talk all over the place, and it's not because I'm bipolar or there's something wrong with me. It is being done on purpose, partly on purpose, and partly because I'm being manipulated. We all are. From the proof I showed you, especially Dr. Emoto, that's very easy to prove for yourself. Get some petri dishes, freeze the water, get some petri dishes, water, just any water, seawater, regular water, fresh water, and a microscope. And do the experiments yourself. You'll see that it works. I've done them. Let me tell you, the government has been hiding something from you, governments, plural, all over the world, for probably decades. They want these wars. They are literally puppets and pawns to this being that is not the devil, is not God, is a being that has manipulated us from the dawn of time and was here. Well, let me give you one example. According to Moses, his 5 books of the Bible, the first mention in the Bible about the parting of waters, I said this in the other video, was at the Red Sea. Wrong. No. The first story of the partings of water were at the time when the first pyramids were being built. by Cheop's son, who became Pharaoh. And there's a story called The Story of the Golden Lotus Blossom. And if you go read that, get up your cans, and stop criticizing me, and investigate like me, and find out the truth before it's too late for you. You could be killing another person and not know. You get the Twinkie defense. Oh, sugar made me do it. Drunkenness made me do it. All of this, Charles Chaplin talking about in his greatest speech, all of this violence and negativity comes not from your attitude, not from listening to Tony Robbins and trying to change your attitude to more positive, or Vincent Peale, positive thinking. It isn't any of that. You are being manipulated, every last one of you. And the truth is right in your face. Now, when I say I talk about scattery, it's a sort of defense. I'm being manipulated. Because this being is interfering in me being able to concisely put it for you in a row. But then I thought about it last night and said, wait a minute, Caesar. You're not supposed to give this away to people. You busted your can for decades, finding and piecing all this together. Why should you give it free away to these people? Well, I'll tell you why. For the same reason Charles Chaplin and his greatest speech. Do you hear the Pope telling people, stop paying taxes in America so that you can stop these wars and stop killing innocent men, women, and children? No, the Pope doesn't do that. He says, oh, we want peace. I advise people to do peace. That doesn't do a hell of a thing. You people are sick because you're not listening to me. Now, it's a sort of defense. I heard one person tell me once that if psychologically, if you give things to people all the time, they get spoiled. And they think that you owe it to them. If you really want to have the true meanings of the universe and why, the explanations of why there's positive and negative, some of it deals with good and bad, yin and yang, South Pole, North Pole, the polarity of the universe. Did you know you cannot find a magnet anywhere in the universe that has 3 poles? Or 7 poles? They all have 2. Only 2. North and south. Now you can glue poles together like we do when we put together generators and stuff. We put many poles. But that's manufactured. There is no natural many pole north and south, North Pole, South Pole, positive and negative in the universe. There's a reason for that. The beginning of the Bible, I told you in the other things that Moses was brought up an Egyptian initiate, so he knew all the tricks and magic tricks and all of the magic that was performed by Egypt. Story of the Golden Lotus Blossom is one perfect example. How do you explain that 2 stories like that appear thousands of years apart, the first one appearing long before the Red Sea was parted, leaving you with a few conclusions? It's a lie that everybody wrote. It's just a story. It's a fantasy like Atlantis. Or it's the truth. There are people that say that the Red Sea was parted by some cataclysmic event that coincidentally just happened to happen at exactly the point in time when Moses walked to the Red Sea when he was being chased by the Egyptians. He was being chased by the Egyptians because he stole the box that wand was in that parted the water in the first story. And the Pharaoh got really pissed off and said, I told him, take the spoils, like it says in the Bible, take what spoils you want and get out. Because Pharaoh had lost his firstborn son. But when the priest came to him later, and this is not in the Bible, this is someplace else, and I'm not going to tell you where it is, work to find it. They told him, he took our box. He took the wand. The Pharaoh said, we can't let him do that. That's power. That's the power of Egypt. So he went after him. Later on, Moses said he was talked to God and to put 2 angels on the top of it, and it became a receptacle for the 10 Commandments and the manna from heaven and Moses' staff that budded supposedly, and so on and so on. The point I'm making to all of this is that you're missing the entire concept. If you really want to find the secrets of the universe, you have to do what I do, and I'm already giving you clues, plenty of clues, too many, I think. You have to work to put it together by having to listen to what I'm saying. And the reason I scatter this talking is a sort of defense. It's a defensive posture, arriving at one conclusion, that something can communicate in water. Two things, according to Moses, existed. In the beginning of the Bible starts, it says, and God created the heavens and the earth. That's just an introduction. There's a period at the end of that phrase. That's your introduction, period. 3 or 4 lines. Then, the next statement is the one that gives it away. And you have to read it a few times and put together all the things I said in my 2 videos yesterday with what I'm saying today. That's not all that existed. The second thing says, and it's interpreted in many different ways, but the original interpretation from the original scripts says, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. Some place says, face of the deep. Later on, a few paragraphs later, he says, and God separated the oceans and made the ocean. Wait a minute, hold on. If God was the only thing that existed originally, supposedly, why is water being mentioned in the same thing? That water already existed when God moved upon the face of the waters? Water and God. God, North Pole, water, South Pole. 2 poles, positive and negative, yin and yang, violence, peace. This being, and this is why I told you yesterday, be very careful when you communicate with these things, because these things, especially this, I call the water being just Neptune. Just give up. Call it something. Neptune has a nasty habit of playing tricks on you. Causes the wars, causes the death and destruction, because just like in the movie Matrix, a comparative example, we are being manipulated. Some of us, many of us, are being manipulated into these wars, these deaths and destructions. Most of it territorial, most of it over resources. But instead of finding these peaceful solutions and getting people like me to lead the way, and trust me, I'm not the only one. There are some of me in Russia, there are some of me in China, there are some of me in Japan, there are some of me in every country of the world, even Africa. This is why I say when you kill someone, even a child, you could be killing one of us. And we are, truly speaking, the avatars. My proof is in that. It's not an ego thing. I've just given you, which I shouldn't have done. I fought this being as hard as I could to give you this information. You're not paying for it. All I'm asking in return is help me get out of here before they finish me off. Look how many people they finished off in Iraq and Afghanistan. How many Einsteins, how many other avatars have they killed without knowing they were avatars? These people are sick, including the Pope, the President, the Congress, the people that walk the streets every day. You're all stupid because you haven't put it together. It took someone like me to be abused and abused for years. My possessions taken, the young years of my life taken from me, stolen by the manipulation of this evil creature that lives in the water, that's able to translate our words. Literally, you go to Dr. Emoto's website, can translate our words in every language, but doesn't communicate back with us. Or does communicate to some people who have the right frequency modulation in their atomic structure in their body to be able to hear these messages. And even those messages are compromised and done for one reason and one reason only: to create wars, death, destruction. Peace sometimes, war sometimes. That's how they get their energy. They get their rocks off watching us die and hurt and painfully try to struggle to live over these stupid social orders, quote unquote, that supposedly have all the answers. They don't. I do. And all the other avatars that are on the planet do. And if you don't listen to us, the worst is going to happen. This being that's been watching us killing ourselves. There's a Star Trek episode. We're already in 14 minutes. It's called The Day of the Dove. Jim Kirk, or William Shatner, Leonard Nimoy, Spock, and Michael Ansara plays the Klingon, the opposing Klingon. In the ship, there's a ship, a being that goes back and forth and lets the crew fight amongst each other, kill each other, then heals them so they can continue to kill each other, because this being feeds off of the energy of the death and destruction. That's just a classic storybook example of what's going on in real life. The Matrix, The Day of the Dove, it's repeated stories. They're not stories. They're there. They're mistakes of this water being, and believe me, this water being does make mistakes, that allows us to be able to see the truth, see the writing on the wall, and stop doing what we're doing and picking the right people to lead us. I'm going to go to the next tape.